Hey guys, welcome back here up to the hillside, and today I'm going to show you how to divide plants you buy from the store to increase the amount of plants you have, but also how you can make money by dividing and selling your plants. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright guys, so as we know, plants are awesome, but they're also expensive sometimes. This plant here was about $15. Now, it's a beautiful plant, it's great, it lasts just fine up here at the Hillside Gardens, but I want to divide this plant and see if I can A, increase the amount of plants I have, but B, show you how you can divide them, and then if you want to, you can even make some money by trying to sell them. Now check out these beautiful roots. Isn't that something? Now look at this. This is a nice peaty or maybe a coconut coir type of soil this is in, nice and loose. So this division should be pretty easy. So if you have a plant that is absolutely way overgrown, you want to be really careful because damaging a lot of roots in the division process will set the plant back quite a bit. So I'm just trying to really gently work this soil here. It's not too wet, it's not too dry, which is important. You don't want to have super dry soil because that will tend to actually damage the roots as you try to pull them apart. Now look at this right here. These are actually little cups. These plants are actually already pre-divided. Look at that, there's 3 little plastic cups right here. So if I can get these apart without damaging the plant too much, it's not really, yeah, you have to break a few eggs sometimes, guys, but see that? That's about the best you can do with these. These roots are actually grown into each other's pots. So very carefully, that one went pretty easily. Now look at that, 3 separate plants in this one container. So if you were to able to divide these out and put this into its own container 3 different times, they can grow up. If you so choose, you could probably sell them and actually recoup your money twice over. You know, if you grow these up and just kind of sell them or trade them or whatever you want to do. See, that was unavoidable with this little pot. That's what you wanted to avoid, but this little plant only has 1 leaf on it, so the amount of roots on it will be plenty to sustain this growth. Now, if I would do that to something like this big and take all the roots off of it, it would have some damage. That would probably linger a little bit, but these plants are pretty resilient, they're hard to kill, and it'll be just fine and recover nicely. So let's see if I can do this with this plant without destroying it. So I'm also going to take this old leaf off at this time. Dividing and transplanting is a perfect time to clean up dead or diseased plant material. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this apart easily. So I might have to actually break down and cut this one. So let me go ahead and show you how I'm going to do that right now. Alright, so what you need is a pair of nice sharp pruning shears, or maybe a small pair of scissors if you can get in there with that. But I'm just going to kind of try to find a way to get in here gently and just start getting these little pieces pulled apart. And you don't want to be in a hurry for this, guys. Like I said, don't divide or transplant if you're in a hurry or crunch for time, because you can really mess a plant up doing this. But it's really not difficult, and it's pretty simple, pretty accessible at least, with this this process right here. So let me go ahead and continue this process and show you what the end product looks like. I'm just going to do this all the way around the plant. Alright, so after carefully cutting away these little plastic cups right here, a little bit of root damage was actually incurred, but that's, not too bad considering how tangled up these were. But here's what you can expect. A nice plant right here. Now when you divide, like I mentioned before, this is the perfect time to look for any kind of diseased roots, anything that are black and mushy that would indicate overwatering or rotting of the roots. You want to remove that at this time. Right now, I mean, this is a pretty healthy plant. All in all, this is going to be a great plant to just grow on its own. So let's go ahead and get these guys into pots and show you how we're going to do that right here. Okay guys, so this little pot here is pre-filled about halfway with my own soil mix and some perlites and just some coconut coir and some other just general houseplant potting medium. Now what I like to do is very gently at this stage, you need to just kind of situate your plant down here to kind of get a feel for it. So it's gonna sit here about this is the surface level you're gonna wanna put it at. So I'm actually just gonna repurpose some of this, looks like sphagnum peat moss here. It's pretty good stuff here. It's, like I said, it's not overly waterlogged or anything like that. So I feel pretty comfortable reusing this. So what you're just gonna do is gonna keep the plant at the level, holding it. You can kind of shake it down a little bit. Something like this. Now you don't want to bury the stem up to here. Make sure you repot it at the level that it was used to being at, because that's where it needs to be. You can actually kill this plant by, if you bury it way up here, it's going to rot and it's just not going to be healthy for your plant. It's going to suffer. If it doesn't die right away, it will eventually. And this is just a little rock. So again, check for any kind of bugs, anything like that you need to remove. This has all been sterile houseplant soil, so shouldn't have any issues with that. As if I was dividing a plant that had been growing outside, because you never know what has actually joined the party. This is actually a little bit off center. I'm just going to try to straighten it back up a little bit, but all in all, it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, guys, this plant's going to be just fine. So there you go. Now that is how you can take your house plants you buy from the store, easily divide them, create multiple plants. Now they're not all going to be this way with these little plastic cups. This is the first time I've actually encountered this. But I will show you again, future videos coming up, how to divide plants that are not in these little baskets, okay? So it's a little bit more technical, a little bit more in-depth, a little bit more margin for error, quite honestly. So this was the easy version. Hopefully you did learn something. Hopefully you learned how to propagate some plants by dividing them out and increasing the amount of plants you have, which then therefore you can either sell to recoup your initial investment that you put into the plants, or maybe you can trade this plant to one of your other fellow plant enthusiasts, thus increasing your plant collection for basically for free, because that's what it's all about, guys, here at the Hillside, and for all you other plant lovers out there, getting free plants, getting more plants, and just enjoying plants in general. So for more gardening tips, do check out this next video that is shared in the description. Bye-bye. Until next time, thanks for watching. See ya.